Yeah, not pretty, not pretty. Coming down pretty aggressively here, potentially for a potential sweep and go, right? Like, can it push back? I don't know. I'm not not married to that idea, but really, when we look here, Bitcoin coming down into key areas and rotating down. So let's take a look here on Chart Prime into our areas and see if we can find something uh, to help us, because right now there's no help for Bitcoin. 1 second here. Yeah, heavy volume coming in for the shorts here. And okay. So yeah, Bitcoin rolling over, coming into our buy level down below here. Not really looking too hot, really. This is obviously getting smaller and smaller, sweeping the lows. I would love to see the liquidity at the $80,000 level swept first. Does it happen? We'll see. For me, um, it's pretty nasty right now. So if this, then that. The Nasdaq's the story, right? The Nasdaq has showed us, time and time again, of where direction is going, right? This morning we had like the chop and pop all the way down, but it is clearly breaking down here, right? So in general bias, we should be looking for shorts after, the big push up, right? Nasdaq has fly all the way up here. We consolidated, we lost structure, right? Losing that structure should suggest that, hey, man, there's a potential for us to come back for these guys in here, right? Thinking they're geniuses, on the way up. Well, hopefully they took profits, right? Because really, in this environment, right, if you're not paying yourselves, you're going to end up pretty broke when we look at stuff like this. So looking for a potential pushback here on Bitcoin, right? Do we get it here, or is it going to be further down? We'll have to wait and find out. But a nice sweep of the lows, to say the least, right now. So coming into our buy level, trying to push back. Do we get going, right? For me right now, it's kind of waiting for structure, man. So when we look at short-term time frames, right, we can see that we have clearly lost like any sort of support here, right? Whenever you have, I said yesterday we're looking at necklines, right? You could see this happen on Wednesday. All right. And this is happening here today, right? So you can see whenever you have weakness, right, you typically look for the rug to happen, right? They will take any opportunity, whether it's inflation data, whatever data, and then look to, take advantage of everybody, right? So when they get the chance, be prepared, because they're going to take it and they're going to look to, get their money, right? They're here to make money off of us, right? So if we're not prepared for that, we're going to be victims. So we always have to prepare for the worst. This morning was a little bit of a tell. We could see this morning that they were fail. You can see the market was failing to push higher over and over and over again. Okay, so whenever the market is struggling, right? For me, generally, I'm going to see that, hey, man, there's weakness here. Can we roll over? Absolutely, right? So if we can roll over, then we must be prepared for something like this, like buy levels. Now we're looking for potential reversal structure, and until we get that structure, we don't take the trade, right? That's the difference, right? Is that we don't jump, short right now, and we wait for the market to tell us, hey, man, we might want to go long now, right? We don't want to just willy-nilly, hopium trade, right? We want to have confirmation, and we want to have the market tell us direction, which is always important. If we don't wait for that, we're going to be a victim of our emotions, and we're going to be chasing price, right? And that's the last thing we want to do. So for me right now, it's a little bit of waiting. I am looking for potential longs down here, but I want to see structure, right? Like I like the look of this so far. Does that mean that I'm getting long? No, it just means that I'm preparing for a long, right? So preparing for a long and getting into a trade is one thing. When looking at Bitcoin on the higher term time frames, it's it's clear that we have a lot of liquidity below us. Okay, that's the one thing that um, in my opinion, we should all be well aware of is the amount of liquidity below us, and really how we're supposed to get into this. So whenever we're sweeping, right, liquidity, we're looking for potential pushbacks, okay? But we understand there's liquidity also right here. Now, Chart Prime does a good job with its indicators here. If you throw on liquidity, it'll give you all these levels, which will help you mark that out on your charts, right? So you can see I have bearish liquidity below us and above us, right? Really right now, because we're in an uptrend, yes, we're looking for longs, but we need to be objective, okay? And that just means that if price action does this, then that, right? If this, then that. Always that mindset will always save you a lot of heartache and a lot of problems throughout. So if we come into this zone and we reverse, we can look for longs, right? Right now, VWAP holding us down the whole morning, right? I always say, look at VWAP. Boom, 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 all morning. Okay? So when that happens, right, it's very important that we're aware that when we're below VWAP, a very simple rule that you can implement is below VWAP, you're only looking for shorts. Above VWAP, you're looking for longs, right? So you're looking for longs here, right? Unless you're getting, you're looking for longs here. And this will help you have a bias, a general strong bias, right? Now, when we look at Bitcoin now, we are pushing back up. The Nasdaq's trying to bounce, retesting previous highs. Okay. This doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. It just means that there's potential for a reversal. Okay. Potential. So going back over to Bitcoin, what am I looking for right now? Retest of previous lows, continuation down, potentially. Okay. Always a nice trade for continuation trades. Even retest of previous highs, continuation up is another one as well. Okay. My main area down below here is all the way down at 78,000, guys. So if we roll over here, I mean, this looks terrible, right? 1% down, but this could go a lot further, right? When we understand that, hey, we've gone up only here. Nasdaq's really pulling back right now, right? SPY really pulling back right now. So for me, it's letting this bake. Like, I still have a long bias, but I understand that when I zoom out on Bitcoin and any of these assets, that we are very overextended, right? We can see, like, we look at this, we see, like, price, in my opinion, needs to come in here, right? Like, look at this. This is just aggressive and aggressive, right? So it's something to be aware of with the way this is behaving. But also, don't fade the uptrend. Any pullbacks generally for buying. So if we get confirmation, I'm looking to long. If not, then I'm looking potentially jump into like a lower high short. But for now, it's a waiting game. The price this morning has been really ugly, choppy. Look at this. Like, when you look at this, it's disgusting, right? So not easy to trade. So in order to get bullish, it needs to kind of reclaim the range in here around 80,500. Then we can start considering longs. Until then, we should be looking for shorts because of the mitigation. Now, like, what tells me to look for shorts in this environment is the fact at the top here. If we go into like a 30-minute time frame, is that we've broken structure in here. So we've come up golden pocket, 786, break of the low. This is bearish, right? So retest down, retest down, retest down until proven otherwise. What I need to see here is some sort of high, low, and a break of that high. That's going to allow me to justify getting long. Okay, so rules-based and looking to attack the market in this environment, it's best to be patient. For now, I'll be looking, and I can share my chart with you guys, but I'll be looking for this to potentially get rejected here and continue downwards. And I'll share my levels with you guys so that you have them. But patience right now is going to be your best friend. The market is very vicious. So looking for a reclaim and go. or looking to rotate back down to these levels down below, and I'll share those charts with you guys in the chat. What do you think, Ghosty?
Oh, I like it. I'm also looking at that same area. Let me bring it up here. Oh, I changed it to Sky. 1 second. On Bitcoin, somewhere around the. Come on, where is it? Here it is. The 79, 78, 78, I mean 79, 80 area for possible incoming purchase. So I like it. I really like either analysis. Let me bring up a couple of things that I have in here. And I was just opening a couple of tabs to see what's up. So one of those, the what's up thing tabs, it is the what is it? Alcon Season Index. As you can see, we are in a very, or not that small, but in the Alcon season at this moment. And if you guys remember, well, we have a lot. We were looking at those Alcons that were in profits. Right now, we have a lot of them. So if you guys remember, we traded a couple of those. In those, we have TAO, JST. We made fun of Luna C. What else? Siren. I did not trade a Jupe. I was actually wanting to trade Jupe. Near. What else do we traded? A couple of those in there. TRX, Link. So let's go visit a couple of those. And if I'm not mistaken, yesterday we took a look at the SKYA. I don't know what that is, but it rings some bells. So let's go check them out. So there we go. Here's what we were looking for, right? A bounce out of this same area. If you guys remember, I was actually looking for a little bit of a deeper area. Nonetheless, it hit that entry right there, as you can see, and then bounced it back up into the trend line. So hopefully you have taken that trade. It was a pretty nice trade. Another important thing is that we are trading to crossover. We ain't got that much money flow, so be careful with these coins specifically, all right? So we need a pretty penny right now. If you already have this entry, make sure that you're taking some profits out and move your stop to entry. This will cover you for if these retrace. And I remember at least leave, I don't know, a 10% and 20%, 25%. I like to leave a 25% of the trade open with a stop at zero or at entry just for a moonback. So I could be looking for the next area of resistance, which is going to be somewhere around here. And you can see we are scrapping the bottom of it, right? But let's bring up the VRVP, the predictive ranges, order blocks, and liquidity zones. And I know it's going to be a little bit of a mess, so bear with me here. And you'll see that we are getting almost right there, right? You see that my box is a little bit higher right there, and that's because it's trying to coincide with the swing middle what is it, middle so mother's milk or middle range of swing trade range right here, right? Nonetheless, again, we are on a big resistance. I believe that we're gonna pump just a little bit more, somewhere around the 0.608, and maybe, just maybe, hitting the top of that range. It's also important, this comes from ChartPrime's automated trendline system. We have this other trendline right here that's crossing over. So hitting the bottom of that trendline also gets us somewhere around that ballpark, around 0.64. So shout out to you guys if you took that trade. Let's go take a look at a couple of other trades in here. Solana, the exact same trade that you were talking about. I explained it a little bit more. So it was just granulated on the 4 hours. We were right there on against the daily dynamic reactor, expected to go just a little bit higher. It did went just a little bit higher, retracing right now, and that doesn't really take out the possibility to come back around, especially in the 4 hours. So yes, we're losing the trend line. Let's bring up a couple of order blocks in here. Let's get it. And we'll see where can we go back into that possible trade. Important, we have a quadruple divergence, bearish divergence. We are losing that zero line, losing that zero line will mean it's not there yet, by the way, but losing it will mean that we're going to go farther down. And now we'll speculate going for TP number 1 somewhere around here where we are already very close. So no short entry for myself at that zone. But the next one will be right there on this next dashed line. Very important. That dashed line comes on the market dynamics pro. It's part of the predictive range. Sorry, of the break of structure measurement that we have. And as you can see, it is breaking the previous high right there with a big body candle. So that makes it a very nice area to look for a re-entry. Not only that, if you guys remember, small areas of volume on the left part of your VRVP or for chart prime, it usually indicates smart money entries. So let's go check that out. We have this one, as you can see, it's also coinciding with that same area. So we have a very strong area right here for a possible reentry in Solana, and then to create a higher low. Let's go to daily here. And let's remember what Alex was mentioning, somewhere around the bottom of this region, which means we need to retest some areas of volume, right? So we're trying to break out the range, coming back from some retest of that volume. If you take a look at there, that's where we had the money flow POC, and that will give us enough power to break through that daily dynamic reactor. If we break through that daily dynamic reactor, I think game's on. And actually, now that I see it, look at the target that we could be hitting. Almost exactly the same that Alex was looking at, 140. Let's go over NEAR, because NEAR had something very similar to Solana. Let's go to the 4 hours. 4 hours, I was looking at a possible head and shoulders. The head and shoulders, it's complete on shoulder, head and shoulder. We already have tested that support area. And well, the question remains, although the basic setup it's already there. The question remains, and that is because we haven't broken the neckline, and until we don't broke or bounce out of the neckline with a oscillator confirmation, we are not breaking the pattern. So basically, what's up? Well, we need to wait just a little bit more. I think we're gonna roll over as already drawn right here, but it just happened faster. So let's adjust that drawing. There we go. And I think that we're going to have our chance to come back somewhere around the 1.42 for the target of these head and shoulders. Something I want to bring up on the daily, it is the possible goose head, right? The goose head is already completed. Remember, the goose head usually indicates a little retracement, farther move to the upside, and then bigger retracement. So that's where the similarities are on Solana structure-wise. So basically looking for the next range to be pierced within it, right? And probably, if we are able to bounce in here, get within this region of price action, somewhere around 180. Let's go and take a look. Just was another one that we checked out yesterday. So target hit, very nice right there. Something important on this target. Let me eliminate most of my indicators so we can see through all of the spaghetti, all of my spaghetti. It is the possible rejection. Very important. This goose head seems to be very strong. So did we have the little retracement? Not that much, right? It was just basically a little 80 tiny bit range and then pop back up. Can we count for the bigger retracement? I do count with it, but we still need to be a little bit careful. This can still blow to the upside, although we have a lot of resistances at the top. Not as big as I would like, especially not with this high order block. All right. But if you take a look at where am I pointing at, there it is, right at the center of the mother's milk or the swing range, where we have two liquidity zones, where we have some smart money entry. But what it's in the way is the high order block that was not there yesterday. So we could do something like that, and then we'll have to do another analysis. So I'm going to still leave it and try to trade it whatever it comes up. So let me redo this analysis once again, so I don't leave you kind of like in the wondering what is trading it as it comes up. So I'm looking for a couple of structured things in here. All right, we have a double top. All right, most likely I could be looking for a retracement to this area. This is the analysis that we talked about yesterday. All right, after the bounce. All right, great. But the thing that I don't like about this retracement, all right, is that look at your volume matrix. It's pretty green. Look at your money flow index. It's turning back green. And look at your goose head. It's actually not ending up like a normal goose head. It's a little bit flatter, right? Which indicates that it has some strength, which means that we could have just a very short movement back up high and then have the bigger retracement. Basically, since we're extending the peak, the little retracement might have not happened yet. All right. So this is one of the chances. And there's one more where we just break out and then we have the retracement. So I would say that the question that mostly happens is where do I jump in if I miss the trade? Well, if you jumped in, if you already have missed the trade, your first opportunity is waiting for retracement. So it would be right here with half of our position. Why? Because despite this is a high order block, it's pretty close to 50-50. 10% of the difference is not that much when we have that thin of an order block. All right. That thin of the order block makes it both, if it doesn't have that much a bearish strength, a great area to bounce, but also if it does have just a little bit of a spike, a great area to break. All right, so be careful in this one. I would actually call it for half of an entry and then half of an entry right down here. If we keep pumping, I think the 4 hours, there's nothing you can do other than wait. So let me jump into the, I don't know, the 5 minutes time frame. Let me see how well I do it. And the first thing that I see is that we have a lot of volatility, right? Look at those weeks, and let me just turn off the spaghetti right here. Look at those weeks that go back and take you out right out of nowhere. So I would actually count with one of those weeks down, maybe somewhere around there, possible areas of entry, as we have flip of the ribbon above the zero line. If I see a flip of the ribbon above the zero line, there's another chance, which is going to be, let me just clear this up. Oh, well, I don't want to clear this up. Let me just hide it for a second. There you go. I would go for an itty bitty tiny trade on the break of structure. So further continuation up, breaking above and closing above the 0.09. Right? And that is just because it's creating an itty bitty tiny bullish flag, and we could have a flip of the ribbon. So I wouldn't enter right here because I will say that it's 50-50, especially when we bring up, there we go, our VRVP. We are on ranging zones, right? So we have smart money entry up in here and also smart money entry. Where is it? I wouldn't really recommend it. I mean, call this a smart money entry, but being right next to this huge bar, I would say that, yeah, it's fair to call it a smart money entry. So we are between the rock and a hard place. So I would say we need to let it play it out until it reveals itself. So yeah, breaking previous high, break a structured trade, itty bitty tiny trade, quarter of an entry, half an entry, continuation, target price. Let me move this out of the way. There you go. TP1 0.90. TP2 0.093. So far, that is what I'm looking at on the altcoin parts. I also have ton. Let me see, because we break out before I pass it over to you. I also have Tony here that I was expecting a breakout, but a bigger breakout. Instead of that bigger breakout, we have a very vanilla breakout like this. The retest is playing out on this area, so get ready for a possible long position if we hold the 2.29. All right, so what's the deal right now? Let me just clear this up, okay? So right now we have the breakout. All right, the breakout was not as violent as I would like. Then the retest, and what we need here, it is a flip of the ribbon. What kind of flip of the ribbon? This kind, like a little flat, and then the flip of the ribbon. If you notice, we have the same bounce right down there, same bounce right down there, and wants to come back down a little bit. Perfect. Let it come back down, range support, and then the flip of the ribbon to the upside. So do we still have some time? Yes, I think that we have like 2 or 3 candles and then a possible pump back up. So I'm looking for this area to hold the 229, 230. So I'm gonna add another alert right down there and see if we can get that entry. So that's what I'm seeing on altcoins. Let me ask you, Alex, what do you think? Do you think that I'm pushing a little bit too hard on altcoins? I certainly feel like it.
I think pullbacks have been for buying, so I don't think you're wrong in the idea of looking for altcoins. We are into like big retracement zones. So if we're looking at let's just take a look here. If we take a look at Bitcoin's bouncing right now. If we take a look at something like what had a big move, Ondo, right? Let's take a look at Ondo. I mean, I did take Ondo, which was a fucking crazy trade, bro. Because
Nice.
I noticed a reversal on Bitcoin, right? Look at Ondo. Ondo was flat, bro, forever. Ondo was flat, right? But you had this coming down here, and then you had Bitcoin breaking out, and Ondo was so down. So I got long in here. I made like 7,000 on this
Ooh,
trade, but
nice.
insane push for Ondo. But when we look at stuff like Ondo, right? I drew this out on the live stream today, and I can hide this, but when we look at Ondo on a higher term time frame, so we're going to generally look for pullbacks or for buying, right? So we have double top, yada, yada, yada. You can see it there, right? So you can see all the ugly brush strokes I've made. But if we go swing low to swing high, right? And we're looking for pullbacks, right? We are currently in an area where we're looking for pullbacks, right? So we're in an area. This is our golden pocket 786 area where we would generally be looking for this thing to push, right? So if this, then that, you know me. So in here, if we get structure suggesting higher, then we look to trade this easily back up, right? Back up into here. So there's no reason why you can't be looking for altcoins. You just want to have confirmation, in my opinion. Like if we look at I like the dynamic reactor just to give me an idea of where we're at, right? With price action, because it's so important to be aligned with trend. We can obviously see the trend is up here. Guess where we're at, right? So 1 hour, we got our dynamic reactor and our quantum reactor both in here. So this is an area where we should be interested. If we go on a 4 hour, I mean, I'm sure it's coming in like somewhere here. So yeah, there we are. So looking for this to kind of climb up if we are going to get higher and bottom in here, right? So very feasible for altcoins. In this altcoin environment, though, remember, right? The market is different. The market doesn't really care right now. Certain things are pumping, certain things are not, right? So be selective and be make sure that you're always kind of, looking for things that haven't moved that should have moved, right? Injective, it should have moved. We got this, right? BNB is one that I think is lagging right now. BNB did so well. Look at BNB right now. BNB should be up here at 807. BNB might be an opportunity, right? So keep your eyes on things like that. I think they will present the biggest opportunities in the market. Besides that, right, make sure, NASDAQ's trying to find a bottom here. The ES is bottoming. The SPY has filled the gap down below. So we're trying to find a bottom right now. Go off confirmation, right? Look at Solana. I'm looking for a long on Solana. Can we get going here? Right? Looking like it's struggling a bit, right? So don't be married to the trade, but also, be prepared to, when the opportunity arises, press the button, right? Press the button, give yourself a chance to make some money. Right now, any opportunity in this pump, any opportunity the market maker has an opportunity to dump it on her head like we did today with inflation data, they're going to do it. But that's always an opportunity for us to wait and set the trap and then take advantage of it, right? So make sure you guys are doing that, setting alerts. on key levels and waiting for the price to come into that, and then trying to execute with good risk management, right? That's what we're always trying to do here. So that would be my suggestion right now. Patience is going to pay, right? Don't be too hasty right now. The market's picking up a little bit, right? We'll see if it does want to continue. That's what
for
I would
sure.
suggest.
Absolutely. Guys, I think this is going to be it for today. Maybe just one little perk in here. I want to show you a couple of tools that I use other than indicators.